Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Welcome in Curveback School System. This is our fourth session, and you are basically participating in a Codified Cardio-Linguistic Mentor Program. This GCLP is basically a spiritual activation and well-being program. So, by the grace of Almighty, you have become a part of this great exercise. In the last 3 sessions, we have discussed few important points, and this is quite fortunate that all the programs are uploaded on YouTube channel Professor Dr. Asif Ahmed, and if you go on the small icon, V-shaped icon, and if you click that V-shaped icon on my YouTube channel, the YouTube will give you the full transcript. So you can take the help of that transcript also. So that's why I'm not showing the slides. Everything is there. The YouTube has helped us a lot. So today's topic is how to train the 5 physical senses for spiritual perception. Because whatever is present, we have to take the help of those facilities. So the fundamental thing, we are able to see the physical world through physical senses. So if we are able to upgrade these 5 physical senses, this upgradation would be the first step towards the spiritual journey, because the nature has given us these 5 senses, and these 5 senses are full of power. So small modification in the system will give us immense energy to start our spiritual journey. So this is the topic that we are going to discuss. So today, as I already told you, we are going to learn the specific spiritual methodology to train our 5 physical senses for a specific type of spiritual perception. And the name of that methodology is called, this methodology is called spiritual sound box activation method, something related to our vocal cords. And this is called, I have labeled this procedure or process or method as GCLP Hunt method. This is the first step towards the spiritual journey. Basically, GCLP, Codified Cardio-Linguistic Program, is a success key in the spiritual expedition. And this expedition is basically enveloped under 3 words. You have to remember these 3 words. Number 1 is practice. Number 2, focus. And the third is clarity. These are the 3 major foundation stones in this spiritual expedition: your practice, your focus, and your clarity. If someone is spending very less time, maybe he or she will end up with some sort of failure. And if there is a disturbed focus, and if the clarity is compromised, so you have to make everything clear. The first question, because I have used 3 major items: the clarity, the focus, and practice. So automatically people ask one very relevant question, which I think this is a very right time to clarify this issue. People ask, do I need to quit all my daily life activities whenever I am going to engage myself in GCLP practice? This is a very common question. It is certainly not necessary to withdraw yourself from daily life activities. Nothing to do with, it will not disturb your daily life activities. Whenever you are performing the spiritual exercises, make sure that this GCLP practice will not harm or modify or change your daily life activities. All suggested spiritual exercises and practices are designed to be implemented during the daily activities. This is the beauty of this program. If you are doing some routine activities, even then you can perform GCLP practices and exercises. And basically the first word, practice. And by practice, try to make them habits and incorporate in your natural way of life. This is your duty. And spiritual seekers must understand another important point, that sometimes people ask me that after discovering many diversified ways of self-transformation, like auto-suggestion, like hypnosis, like neuro-linguistic program, and many other SRTs, self-regulatory techniques, most of the people come on this inference that GCLP would be very much similar to other SRTs. The simple answer is no. It is very much different from routine SRTs. Why? Because your capacity to persist along a spiritual path is the most important winning point. Because other SRTs are basically linked with your psyche. And this SRT is purely based on the methodologies related to spiritual awakening. The other common question, because we are going to start the exercises, so I am just discussing frequently asked questions. What is a good time to start GCLP? This is another common question. Supernatural persistence is one of the most essential qualities of a spiritual seeker that he can develop. And during the process of self-transformation, tomorrow means never. Do it right now. So right now we are going to start the GCLP practice. From today, we are going to start. So this is the starting point. Next question is how to train 5 senses in spiritual direction. How? As I told you in the initial part, we are going to use a spiritual sound box activation method. Basically, what is the major hurdle in the process of spirituality is your conditioned ordinary mind, as I told you in my first discussion. This ordinary mind gets information from 5 senses, and all the orientations and the feelings that the mind develops are dependent what is being sent by 5 senses. So the mind categorically is dependent on the inputs that are coming from the senses. So as a first step, the seeker is required to train 5 senses in spiritual direction. Therefore, the GCLP provides a suitable techniques for the same. So, there are 5 senses. Which sense we are going to use? Any idea? Hearing, hearing, and the sound. Yes, sound means when the sound improves or वो एक shape लेती है तो it converts into words, sentences. So these two are the foundations. The hearing, we have to listen something and we have to say something. Have you got my point? This is very important. So we are going to start our journey from hearing and voice system. And then once the spiritual seeker become master on this what you call process, then it will shift to the light, to the vision. So the story would start from sound, then it will shift to the eye, the physical eye and the spiritual eye. Right? In the beginning was the Word, and Word was with the God, and the Word was God. So begin your spiritual journey by spiritual sound box activation method. The creative power of the voice is clearly known. Kun fayakun. The creative power of the voice. It was the voice of Almighty. The voice and the sound has the power to manifest. And after the kun fayakun, the physical world came into being. So, in the beginning was the Logos, and the Logos was with the God, and the Logos was God. And the God said, "Let there be a light," and there was light. And the God said, "Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters." And the God said, "Let the earth bring forth the living creature." So what is the background of spiritual soundbox activation method? You have to understand few points. All of us are swimming in quantum soup, and all of us are living in quantum hologram. This one important thing. What is quantum soup and what is quantum hologram? Inshallah, we will discuss. The second important thing, around every single being like me and you, there is a network of non-visible energies present all around us. And as a human being, either we are living in the sympathetic mode of life or parasympathetic mode of life. These are concrete realities. Sympathetic drive of the life is basically fixed on fight and flight, the state of discoordination and emergency. This is a property of physical body. And the parasympathetic drive is a drive related to happiness and healing. And it is the state of coordination and rest. The number 6 point, the business that is going on in our mouth and nose 24/7. It is the open gateway through which the air and energies goes in and comes out from the body. Mouth and nose 24/7. Continuously they are in action. We are continuously taking the different energies in and we are expelling under sympathetic drive. This is very important because you have to remember these things. Whenever our lives are in the sympathetic drive, under the sympathetic drive, discoordinated negative energies goes inside our body. And whenever we are under the parasympathetic drive, the coordinated and positive energies goes inside our body. Because we cannot separate the physical body from spirit. They are like this. They are like this. The life is the amalgam of spirit and physical body. If there is only body is present and there is no spirit, we'll say it's a dead body. So me and you right now, alhamdulillah, have both the components, the physical component and the spiritual component. So GCLP exercises start with the coordinated sound box, coordinated parasympathetic sound box exercises that are responsible for the activation of parasympathetic drive and the flow of positive energies in all 4 natural human postures. Our life is heavily encircled with the digit 4. In some other time, inshallah, I will discuss the magic or the miracle of the digit 4. So, basically, the life starts from the cardiac activity. When we were 4 weeks old in our mother's womb, at this point of time, our hearts start beating. 4 to 6 weeks. And it will beat till the last second of our life. The importance of the heart. But the obvious manifestation of life when we were delivered from the wombs of the mother, the first thing that we did, respiration. And the first thing that we made the cry, the sound. See the connection of these 3 things. The heart, the respiration and the sound. Right? So we are going to use the same method for spiritual awakening. These are the foundations. So physical life starts with the process of respiration and ends with the stoppage of respiration. Most commonly observed life metaphysical attribute. Me and you right now are sharing the physical dimensions of the life. But right now, in this room, in this material plane, we are using one metaphysical or spiritual content. My voice. You cannot see my voice. You cannot see my voice. So the voice is coming from the metaphysical domain.